Welcome back to Nobody Asked for This podcast with Cali, May, and Saulyna.
Today, today's episode, we're going to talk about something that the two of us deal with heavily, especially you, and everyone deals with in general, which is social media. So I am currently navigating the balance of social media. I understand it's very essential to life right now. I want to start out by saying that, but it comes with a lot of drawbacks for me personally. It messes with my mind, my body, but I am now understanding you cannot cut it out of life completely. It's just a part of the world we're living in, and it's very important. So I kind of want us both to give our personal reflections, negative and positive, on social media, and kind of just let them know how we both use social media. I know you have social media as a job, but you also use it for personal use. And then mine is just for personal use, but I'm trying to build a brand off of it, but also not let it consume who I am. I've been doing a little bit of backing up on social media because I know that it's been painting the world in such an ugly view in my head because I'm having trouble being present. And I just think the world is so negative and so ugly because social media is painting it. My social media in general was painting the picture of this terrible world that we live in. I mean, so of course I want to know about the things going on in the world, but it's also, I just want to change. I don't want that to be the only picture in my head about the world. So I just went through a big unfollow spree where I unfollowed people. I unfollowed pages, celebrity gossip pages, especially unfollowed unreliable news pages, just so that my social media can be more curated to who I want to be. Oh, mindful consumption is what I'm looking for. I wanted to change my whole feed to just things that I'm interested in. So I unfollowed a bunch of the bullshit and I followed fitness, some holistic nutrition things. I follow a lot of animal stuff, I realized too, but I kept those on there because, that's the positive. And then I have a bunch of fashion sites, things like that.
We are very different because I don't think I follow really any famous person or people. All my followings are people that I know or like bands that I follow. I don't follow Kim K or I don't know who else is super famous. Like, I don't follow those people because I don't care about you. I don't know you. Nothing that you do pertains to me. I don't want to look like you. I don't want to do anything that you do. So why follow you? My Instagram is people that went to college with me, that went to high school with me, that I met traveling for jobs, and then poetry. But I think my social media is more so like positive than me critiquing other people's posts or critiquing myself because of their posts.
Yes. Yeah. So that's where I guess I'm trying to get more to because originally I had this rule where I wasn't even following regular people because I don't know if I ever brought this up to you, but I was saying I don't follow normal people because why do I care about keeping up on your life? I'm going to follow people that I don't see on a everyday basis. I already know what you're doing. I don't care to see you post about what you're doing. Like I wanted to follow the people whose life that I wanted. I wanted to follow the people who were big and I'm like I don't get to see your life at all. But I'm realizing that maybe that's what I liked before, but it's not what I'm into now. It's coming down to me wanting to be surrounded by people and things that I actually give a fuck about. And at one point, I guess I did care about them. There was a point where I could tell you everything that a celebrity was doing. I know who was breaking up, when they were breaking up, everything. And I know nothing now. Like, I have people come and tell me, and they're like, "Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this?" I'm like, "No," because that shit doesn't pop up on my feed anymore, and I freaking love it. I'm like, "I don't need to know that."
I don't know anything about any famous people. Like, I don't know if they're dating someone, if they're married. You know how many famous people I have served, and I didn't even know they were famous until afterwards, and everyone was like, "Well, what happened?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, it's just a random dude." And they were like, "No, that was Waka Flocka." And I was like, "I don't even know who that is." And they were like, "Callie, yes, you do. He sings whatever ass shaking song it was." And I was like, "Oh, wait, I do know that song."
You know the song because you shooking your ass to it, but you couldn't say who sang it.
I have met and served so many people that were famous, but I think that's also kind of a pro to me is like I don't change myself because you're famous, but it's also because I didn't know you were famous.
That was probably their favorite interaction they've had in a restaurant in a long time too. Like, "Wow, she treated me normal, thank God."
Dude, he was in the Yellowstone, that like movie or that TV
It's a TV
series,
show.
but I've never watched the Yellowstone. Well, he was like the Indian chief or something. Okay, well, didn't know who he was. He was by himself, but I didn't know he was famous either, and then all of my coworkers were showing me him off of Yellowstone, like, pulled his picture up, and I was like, "Oh my god, that's Jacob's, Twilight's dad." But, yeah, like, I feel like social media is super different for me.
For everyone, honestly. 'Cause there's probably so many people like you, and then so many people like me, and then people who are totally different from the both of us. But that's where it comes to like social media being a tool, and it's gonna be positive and negative in different ways for everyone. But I just know for myself right now, it's the negative seems outweighing the positive, but that's why we're having this discussion because I'm trying to balance it. So for me, when I was seeing so many things on social media that were negative, your body absorbs it. It thinks it's you have to go into to survival mode because you just saw that there was a freaking shooting 2 states over, and now it's sending up all this negative things into your body, and then it's releasing it back into your body. So you have all this negative shit pumping through your body. And for me, it was coming onto me physically. So, like, when it came down to, because it affects your gut issues, it affects your immune system. And my number one big thing for me is my memory. I 1,000% blame social media for these lapsed in memory that I have that I never had before. I used to be very good at it, and I even had a situation where I was just scrolling on social media for so long and someone asked me, "Tell me like 5 videos you watched today." And I couldn't recall. I spent 3 hours watching videos and couldn't recall 5 videos that I even watched. It's impacting my mind and my body because I was so invested into it. I'm realizing it later because I kept blaming even, like, substances on this for happening, but then I cut out all substances, and then I was eating healthy, and I'm like, something is still not fixing in my anything. The chemicals in my body were changing just due to scrolling on social media.
It's funny because how you're saying you react to social media, my brain reacts that way when I read. Like, if you can give me a whole book and I'll read it, and if you say who were the 2 main characters, I can't tell you.
That's so crazy to me because when I read, I absorb them so much. If they die off, I'm like I feel like I'm in there. I'm so connected to those people. I don't know, if I'm just coming to realize if I have to sacrifice a little bit of people and a little bit of social media in order to feel better, then I'm going to. My current kinda setup is I schedule a post every week because I still want a social media presence. I know there's not even possibly, there's positive impacts to having a social media presence. So I have 2 story dumps a week and then 1 post a week, and I don't get on it every day like I used to. And it sucks kinda sometimes because the communication with people has been lacking. Like, I don't see people's messages or anything until days later, and 1, the event's already over, the opportunity's already gone, and things like that.
But to me, if those I mean, it's different if you're talking about, like, businesses, but if these are friends messaging you or something, it's like, well, if they're your friends, why can't they just text you?
Yeah, if you're relevant enough, you should have my phone number.
Yeah, why are they relying on an Instagram DM?
Some of them are, or they're just like them it's not important to send me, but they were I missed the baby shower because she sent the invites over Instagram.
That's just weird as fuck.
Like, you couldn't have just sent and what happened to sending him the mail? I love getting invitations in the mail, or you could send me a text or an evite to my email. I still check my email, like, 6 times a day. It was just so weird, and I was like, I didn't realize that that was, like, a thing now. Well, I guess I did, but I was always there to answer it and reply to it because they started doing the event things on Facebook too, and I miss out on things just from that.
That just made me think of the event I was invited to on Facebook, and I kind of ignored it.
That's not a real invite.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I was like, "I need more than this."
I know, and especially when it's the people closest to you, like, my aunt does a lot of, I said my aunt. My aunt does a lot of her invites, like, even to birthday parties, to family cookouts through Facebook. This doesn't feel personal. Did you just send this to everyone in your Facebook list? And it says it's invite only still, and it's probably the most convenient way for her, but even if she just did a screenshot of a text and just sent it to me, that would still feel a little bit better. 'Cause it's like you went out of your way at least to find my phone number.
I 100% agree. I'm looking for that text.
I'd rather you send it on an envelope in the mail, but if you all about convenience and saving a little bit of money, I just give me the text. Make me feel good. Make me feel
Yes.
personal.
Yes, same here. I'm super against invitations on social media. No, that's not happening.
I'll take an email. I don't know if it's because 'cause I'm getting older, but I love emails. But, anyway, to get back on track, cut limiting social media time, I didn't realize I always was like, I don't have enough time in the day, but now I have so many gaps because I can't get on social media. I'm like, 24 hours is a lot of freaking time. And I have become to replace them with hobbies that bring me fulfillment. I'm like, "Oh, there's so much silence here. I can either 1, stay in silence or 2, find something to do, girl. Engage in real life." And I have time to do that. I have practiced so much more mindfulness. I've I actually added a whole nother because I was doing these pottery classes once a week. Now I'm doing it twice a week because I'm like, "Whatever, I have this much time in my day to do so." And it's not even like I'm working less or anything like that. All I did was take social media away, and that is so crazy to me. I was spending that much time on social media that I thought I didn't have enough time to do other things, and I didn't even realize it because I'm like, "Oh, I could be on social media while I'm doing other things," but in reality, you can't. It's taking up time. It's 45 minutes of scrolling that you could have been doing something else. So, I love it. I'm liking where it's going to right now.
Good. Growth is good.
Is there anything before I get into, like, the positive side, because I don't want people to think I'm like, "Oh my gosh, cut out social media." Is there anything on your negative side you wanna touch on? Because I know you're way more pro social media, and it's actually working out very well for you right now.
Yeah. It's just different because my experience with social media is completely opposite of yours. I'm not posting to be perceived in a different light than who I am. I am posting who I am. And I think that is a challenge for most people on social media is they're only posting their good food and their good vacations and their best friends and the best pictures, their best angles, best lighting. And for me, it's no, I'm posting videos of me crying. I'm posting pictures of my body empowering posts. I'm just posting everything that I think people should be posting. But I also think the reason that I am in my social media era right now is because it's so uncomfortable, but I'm doing it because I wish this is what it was like when I was growing up.
Oh, I like that.
Even if I'm the only one changing social media, I'm still changing social media.
You're making an impact.
Even if it's for my 200 people that see my post. Okay, 100 of you are making fun of it. 50 of you are sending it to your friends, giggling, laughing about how stupid I am. But then there's those 2 people that reach out and say the sweetest things, and it's like, this is why I'm doing it. Like, I'm not looking for a message, a DM from you. I'm not looking for comments. I'm not looking for likes. But when you do that, it makes that comfort in the uncomfortness.
Okay, yes, and I agree. Actually, a million, thousand, trillion% because there's so many possible positive impacts that social media can have. I don't know, like a million times you see social media as a tool based on how you use it, and I feel like you're using it perfectly. You're using it as encouragement for other people. You're using it as encouragement for you as well. It's introducing you to incredible people and the people that are like you. I know because I even some of the DMs you send me or that I send you, these people aren't even in our lives, and there's people I've never even seen in person that are hyping me up more than people I used to spend every single day with. I I love that it's we can communicate, 1, through people all around the world, people just like us that we didn't think existed. And I think you're that person for someone else, especially just based off of what I know your social media is doing for other girls, other females, women.
Well, thank you. But also, I don't wanna say it's not for other people because obviously it is, you know? But it's 80% for me and 20% for my audience because I don't know how to explain it other than I'm so used to holding everything in, my feelings, how I feel about anything, and writing up a post, taking a picture, and hitting send is me talking. It's me releasing.
You can see that through your social media too.
Thank you. But I think that's why it's so great for me because it's literally helping me. Like, I'm not posting this so you understand where I'm coming from or like, I don't know because I think I get a lot more negativity than positivity, which is totally okay. Like, that's what social media is.
Yeah.
It's for me. I'm doing this as another form of my journal.
Which is dope as fuck because a lot of people are using social media to negatively impact in their life, and you found a way to use social media as a way to enhance even your real life, and that's almost impossible to find.
Oh, you're being so nice to me
I'm not,
today.
I'm just speaking what's in my head. It's not even just about you in general, it's just about you found a good way to use social media, which I am trying to this is what I was saying earlier to you a little bit before we started recording was using social media intentionally. We all know that when you intentionally go about anything, not even just social media, that the world can just become so much bigger.
I think a lot of the discussions that I've been having with people, so my positive people are, keep doing this. I look forward to your posts because I relate to them so much. Seeing how you went through this and you're overcoming it is helping me trying to overcome it, kind of thing. But it's also like I'm just watching you because I thought you were happy 5 years ago. And now that I see you now, I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah, you're
kind of.
freaking bright light.
Yeah, and now also all my negative people though, they're like, "Well, you're just doing this for likes. You're just doing this for comments. You know you're getting this and this and this." And I'm like, "This is another thing," and I actually wanted to bring this up to you. Yeah, so this girl, she reached out to me and she was like, "Well, aren't you posting for the analytics? Like, aren't you posting for the likes and for the comment like for the feedback?" And that made me really question what I was posting because I was like, dang, is it coming off that I'm like searching for attention. And of course, I'm starting to attack myself. But then I turned it into my positivity and I'm like, no, she's viewing me this way because she doesn't view herself that way.
Exactly. So she's literally bringing whatever she's thinking about herself onto you.
And I think that's been my biggest struggle with my social media journey because I do travel a lot. That's the first thing people say is, well, you couldn't do this if you had my job.
This happens to me in real life too. This isn't even like social media. People low key or not even low key or high key haters because I'm doing something that they want to be doing.
That's what I'm saying. So I travel. I don't have your job, and that's why I am doing this. Even though you have your job, you actually can still travel
'Cause
too.
you make it work. Like, if nobody knows your schedule except I mean, I know your schedule pretty well because we fit each other into our schedules pretty well. So I'm gonna straight out say, like, your schedule's freaking busy and you still make it work. So even if you did have their job, if it's something traveling is something you're passionate about, traveling is something that makes Cali, Cali, you're gonna fit it in there.
Mhm. And I think it's literally the same thing as in relationships, the saying, "If he wanted to, he would." It's the same
Yeah.
thing with
If
life.
you wanted to, you fucking would, bitch. Clearly, you don't
Yes.
want to that bad because you're not finding a way to make it work. Like, I hate people that come up with excuses for everything in their life.
Yes.
Like, I could have done that 1,000 times over. I promise. I probably even thought of an excuse to do it, and I just still did it. And you saw me doing it, and now you're like, "Oh, I couldn't do that because of this." Like, no, I dealt with that too.
100%. But also, I wanted to bring this up as well because I know our views on this are very different. Posting selfies or like bikini, some scandalous things. If we're posting some scandalous things
Sexy
along with
girls.
selfies, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I know you have said this to me before. Like whenever I was posting my we'll use my lingerie picture as an example. When I posted that, you were just like, "Oh my god, like your messages are flooded. I can't believe you did that. You've never posted a bikini picture. This is whoa.
This is huge.
Yeah, this is a big deal." And you say that to me actually quite often about a lot of things, like selfies. You'll be like, "Oh my god, just do it. You'll get so much feedback." But I don't think I'm gonna make you my example instead of making it a general thing. But
Okay.
I don't think you realize that that's a you thing. You get DMs. Whenever you post selfies, whenever you post bikini pictures, whenever you post pictures in general, I do not get DMs.
So, okay, I'm saying this in the most humblest way possible, but you're not my first friend that said that. That's why you're the only person who could run your social media account, and I'm the only person who can run mine because I will say, she'll be like, I kind of want to post this. And I'm saying, like, okay, well, let me put myself. If I would have posted this, this is the feedback I'm going to get from that because I have certain followers and I've created a brand that's Saulyna. Like, it's like I'm my own brand and so I'm expecting everything that happens to me, if you post the same exact post, to happen to you. And you're the first person to call me out on, no, you have to think of it as then you're Callie, not Saulyna posting this.
Yeah, and I think that's also a hard thing for girls in general because, like, whenever you send me your pictures, I'm just like, "No." But it's because
Yeah.
I wouldn't post it. And then whenever I send, like, something to you, you're just like, "What in the
Why?
world?"
I'm just like, why would you even want that on your feed? But we're getting better at that too. Before we'd be like, "No, that's bad. That's awful." But even more, maybe it's just because you're having a little bit more experience with social media outside of your own. Like you have jobs in social media now for different businesses and things like that. So you're able to see it from a view that's not just your view. Because I've noticed you're not even focusing too much on what I'm posting, you're focusing on, like, quality of it. You're like, "Okay, this is Saulyna, so let me view it in Saulyna's eyes, and then let me tell her, like, just fix this. Like, make sure there's more area above your head. Make sure there's this and this and this." You're still making me comfortable and making me Saulyna, but you're just enhancing what I already want to put out there. And before, you would have just been like That's not something I would post. Don't post that.
It definitely was a huge change, but also, that's growing. That's learning the social media world, and definitely a aspect of my job is I can't make the account, say, of a restaurant that I'm managing. I can't post me, like
Yeah.
I can't post what I want to post. I have to create a brand, like you said, for this restaurant or for this dog grooming. Like each account is their own person or own business, own brand. And that's what I really struggled with whenever we were in high school because everyone would send me their pictures and I'm like, this is face tuned, this is edited. Why are you
Yeah.
guys posting all of this? And they're like, "Well, I had a zit or my teeth need to be wider. My face isn't clear." And I'm just like, "That's the whole point. That you don't look like this in person. Why are you editing it? Like just post it." And now it's the complete opposite. It's, "Well, I have to look my best because my brand is I
Is
am the
you're
best."
put together, you're hot, you're sexy, like, kinda thing. And I get that. And that's why I keep saying because I do talk a lot of crap on social media. My brother was even brought up when I told them I was on a social media and it's not even a cleanse because I still get on twice a week. Just stepping back from social media a little bit. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you always take social media breaks and then you always come back. Like, stop coming back if you hate it so much." And it's not even that. Social media is way too big to be ignored. I'm just going to say that. And I'm trying to build a brand for myself. My Instagram is myself. So therefore, I have to get on because people need to see me.
They don't understand it because they don't have a brand and they don't view social media in those terms. And that's what I'm saying as how that person was projecting how they felt on me. It's the same way with that. People don't view social media as a monetary tool, first of
I
all.
I literally have money sign, money sign, money sign. I'm keeping social media because I'm thinking about how I can grow and monetize from it. That's
Yes.
what I have in
And
all caps right there.
I literally just had a company reach out to me last week and they're a bra company and they were sending me some type of bra. And I denied them. I denied them because I was like, "I'm so sorry, but I don't wear bras, so I don't wanna promote a bra because that's not who I am." And I felt so bad because I'm like, "Callie, this is your first brand deal, and you're telling them no with your 3,000 followers because you
But
don't wear
that makes
bras."
me so happy though because there's so many people who sacrifice themselves for money and then they end up becoming a completely different at their social media ends up being separated from them as a person. So the fact that you said no, that means, okay, moving on, you're gonna get brand deals that are Cali. Because it's like, oh wow, Cali posted this bra deal. Yay, I got money off. And then the next Instagram story you're putting and you're like, so I've never worn a bra a day in my life and blah 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 blah. I'm like, bitch, you just told me to buy this bra and now and now you don't even wear a bra.
Yeah, exactly, that's why I didn't wanna do it, but it also made me feel like I was proud of myself because I am sticking true to who I am, but at the same time, I felt bad for saying no because I'm like, "Who am I to say
Like, who
no?"
do you think you are to say no?
Yeah, exactly, that's kinda how I felt, and that's also how I'm sure the brand felt, like, they were probably like, "Oh my god, this girl has no followers, she's definitely gonna say yes," and then I said no, like, "Sorry, sorry."
Not sorry.
In conclusion, followers, your likes, comments, and the type of pictures you're posting is just so much harder than it needs to be. And also
Yeah.
so much of like a hassle. Like people are freaking out of reaching this number and getting the right picture. Like you said, every social media is different for everyone. And that's why even if you don't take social media serious, like if you're just, having a good time, that's totally okay. And you can do that.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need to be hating on the people that are taking it serious and are trying to do something with it.
That's where it's, like, getting messed up, is social media could be so fun, it could be so welcoming and so inviting, and there's, like, this little honestly, it comes down to people not being able to think for themselves anymore, and they're like Just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's doesn't have to be for them kind of thing. I don't know if I wanna put it really in those words.
I think
The
it's also because since we are people that are trying to monetize it, that's why
Mhm.
we're viewing it, and that's why we're saying it's okay that we're doing that. But if we were the people that, let's say, are the normal, just go about social media people, that's why they're like, "Well, fuck you guys." But it's because you have the potential to do it, but you don't want to do it, so you wanna hate on us. And, like, you don't have to do it, I'm not saying you have to.
So just forget not even focusing on the numbers or the follow count or the number of likes or anything. You and I have both been saying our entire lives that we feel like we have something to bring out into the world. So we're just saying we have so much to share. And I feel like there's no bigger audience than social media. There's never been another opportunity to get in front of as many people as we can with social media. And that's exactly what we're doing.
I agree with that because what platform do you have besides social media if you're not famous already?
If you didn't get famous on TV, even people no. I'm trying to think unless you're like an actor or an actress or a singer. A lot of people are getting found from social media now too. There's so many stars now that got famous from TikTok and now they have freaking record labels. And I'm like, "Wow, you couldn't have been a millionaire without social media."
TikTok is making some moves for those people. So I found this new show, Serving in the Hamptons, and it's people that are serving in the Hamptons during the summertime. And it's like pretty newer. Their first season was in 2022, second season is right now 2024. And talking about like a following, for example, I went on these people's Instagrams. Why the fuck does it do that? Okay. Well, I went on these people's Instagrams and the one girl had 3,000 followers. Another one had like 800, and then they just kept going up from there, but none were crazy. Like none were like 100,000. Nothing was crazy, kind of thing. I also haven't heard anyone talk about this show before. Like there's no way people know about this show yet. But I think it's funny that I guess I found this show first because I'm going to look back at their Instagrams in like 3 months, and I guarantee they're all gonna be at like 100,000 followers.
And it's gonna take that one person to post about the show, and it's just gonna be go crazy after that. Kinda excited to see where it's at. But that's social media in general, it gives us regular people a chance.
I think they all are pretty normal, or at least I think they are from their social medias, but that's another thing is like, go check out their social medias right now, and in 3 months or whenever they get famous, like whenever this TV show comes to light, go look at their social medias and their entire brand is going to change.
It will. That's so cool to me. Like, I love stuff like that, though.
I think it's cool because I think it's kind of along with what we're talking about right now, how they're posting themselves in college, living their best life right now. But as soon as that show goes off,
It's gonna change their lives. They might even end up having someone, like, in charge of their social media after that. Like, right now, it's just them and everything's gonna look different because someone else is taking control. They're realizing they have to post this way because of their following count now, everything like that. You know what I've really been into right now? This is kinda not to deal with that, but it still has to do with social media, is freaking love Pinterest. And it's so cool because it's like I've been when I do wanna do my scrolling and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I can't get on Instagram today because 'cause I'll get stuck on there." I get on there and there's no news on there, there's no likes, there's no nothing, it's just inspiration.
that's actually
Huh?
another funny thing to bring up about social media because you have always been the person that's like, here's my inspiration for the pics on vacation. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Like I didn't know you could look for poses, I guess, or whatever it was. Like I didn't know that
I
was a
look for
thing.
inspo everywhere in my life. Like, when I'm picking even when I'm, like, decorating things, when I want at my pottery classes now, I find so many inspos, and I even and it's not like you don't wanna copy someone's exact thing, but you just take so many ideas. It's like doing research for a school project. You take all these ideas and you make them your own so you can have a good final copy.
It makes sense, but it's just so crazy how social media is literally so broad. Like, everyone is so different. Everyone's views on it is so different. Everyone's page is so different.
I know. And even to just tie that all together too, even what I was bringing up with, um, I guess this would be another negative thing along the lines of, like, social media ruining the way that people treat each other for how they're coming at you for how you're acting and coming at me about certain things and just people in general because they can hide. But the problem that I found is that people aren't aren't able to formulate their own opinions as much anymore. Like you're as you just brought up me using other people's pictures as inspo. If I didn't have that, I would have to come up with my own ideas. And social media has made it so easy for people to kind of shut off their brains and they people social media is huge and I think we need to stop taking it with a grain of salt. We need to realize that social media is bleeding into real lives and kind of start separating the two, but it's hard to do when your social media is your life or you want it to be your life. I just rambled because I'm thinking as I'm talking, but I really hope that came off as making sense.
No, it does. I think one of the hard things that people don't want to understand or are having a hard time understanding it is, say you are an oil rigger. You don't want to believe that this little girl is making the same salary as you posting her cute little pictures.
I know, but I wish people would also realize a job is a job and it probably took her all day to like she probably worked for 14 hours for that picture. She had to do her makeup for 3 hours. She had to drive to the location.
But I think that is another thing because if you don't do social media,
They don't understand it.
anything about it, like they don't want to look into it and they don't want to believe that you can make such a awesome amount of money because once again, they're not doing it. So let me drag you down because you're living a better life than I am.
Yeah, that's so annoying.
It is super annoying. But like in my sense with social media, I know like especially older generations, my dad, for example, he has no idea what I do. He doesn't understand why I do it, how I do it, and the point of why I do it. You can't even explain it to someone because they don't want to even try to understand or grasp the context.
I know, but that's why I want social media could be so beautiful. We just need people to bring back empathy, honestly. Bring back trying to understand people's lives outside of your own just because they're living something differently. I just wish people would be so much more accepting on social media because it's making them less accepting in real life too, which is making the world even uglier than it already is. Because people don't want to put themselves in other people's shoes. So they're just hurting feelings or even physically hurting people just because they're doing shit differently than you. Like, what happened to just having empathy and treating people nice as soon as you meet them and then forming an opinion on it and in their lives? Like, get to know us first. Get
Yeah, but like today I was kind of bitchy at work, but these dumb bitches, they order their lunch and I was like, "Okay, so do we want some bread and butter?" And they were like, "Well, I thought it came with my meal." All you had to say was yes.
Yes, that would be great. I would love that. There's no consequences for people's actions anymore. They can get away with doing shit like that, so they keep doing that.
Well, I said to them, they were like, "Well, I thought it came with it." And I said, "Oh, so is that a yes?" And I walked away.
Good. Freaking call them out
I thought that was pretty good for me because
because you wouldn't have said anything before.
yeah. So I was pretty proud of myself. Yeah. But I don't know, I think being a human in general is so hard now. Like, it's so hard.
Being a human.
Like living.
Just living. I was about to say just life. Like there's no before we used to have I guess there was a general idea of how to live life, but right now, like I don't know what to do because you can't be nice because if you're nice, you get walked all over, but you don't want to be a mean person either. But the world's turning you into a mean person because you're like, why am I being nice if he gets all the same things that I do and he's fucking mean?
Yeah. What's that saying? Good guys finish last.
Yeah, especially in America. Damn. So thanks for joining us into our social media deep dive, I guess. It's gonna be a journey of self discovery, exploring all the lows and all the highs of social media. And I don't know, I guess as we wrap it up, let's just remember social media as a tool. It's all about how you use it. So find the spot between staying connected to social media and while also maintaining your well being in general, I guess.
Just do whatever you want with social media, but don't be mean if someone's taking it serious. And don't be mean if someone just wants to post once every 5 years. Do whatever you want. Love ya.
And we know nobody asked for this, but if you did enjoy today's episode or you found it relatable, follow us on all social medias in the show notes and stay true to yourself, stay mindful. Callie's got to go show me her sweater, so we got to go. But
Yeah.
Illy,
Not
see you
us
again.
saying follow us on social media after we were just talking about social media.
That's well, we talked about how we're freaking using social media. So follow us on social media.
Oh, yeah. Help us monetize this bitch, hoes.
Be nice to people, stay true to yourself, self reflection on yourself and your social medias if you have to, but still follow us. Illy, napped out. Goodbye. Have a good day. Go get your sweater.